Hi, Bear Creek. I have a question for you this morning. This is day 3 of my blog, paddling through the mountains, especially the mountain of January. And I want you to look out here and see what you see. What do you see? Do you see? Just think about it for a moment. It's amazing how often our world has taught us to see the snow, the negative stuff, and yet through the snow, if you've noticed, there is some green grass coming up. And that's what I want us to talk about today. If we're going to get through January, if we're going to focus on the negative things, if we're going to focus on the snow and the bad weather and the Omicron and make that our chief focus, I don't think we're going to get through it very well. We need to focus on the green grass, on the joy that is around us. Listen to what Paul says in Philippians, the 4th chapter, verse 4. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. We're not going to get to that peace that surpasses all understanding unless we learn how to rejoice, and not rejoice just when we're happy, but learn to find the joy wherever we are. Here's a true fact, that for every negative comment we get, guess how many positive comments it takes, according to science, to replace that one negative? 10. We need 10 positive comments to overcome that one negative thing that someone has said about us. It's so true, isn't it? It seems like that one negative thing always kind of gets under our burr and kind of holds us and forms us and shapes us. And we've got to learn to look at the world differently. And if that is the case, that those negative comments have that much power, then all the more that we need to look for the joy and see it and rejoice it, and more than anything, frame it. I want to encourage you this January, take out a journal and make it be a journal of joy. In the morning, write down 10 joyful things. And in the evening, write down 10 joyful things. Look for them, things that you are thankful for, things that give you a smile, a story maybe. I want to share a funny story that happened to me when I was in Yankton, South Dakota. I was serving as a chaplain for a hospital. I was a chaplain in training, and I had to stay overnight one night there. And usually when I stayed overnight, we had several calls, but I always wanted to get home right away because, hey, I had kids at home, and it was hard for me to spend a whole night away from the family. So I was always in a hurry that next morning to get in the car, and I had to travel about 40 miles to get to home. And so that day, sure enough, I woke up, and there was about a foot of snow out there. And I was in a hurry, and last thing I wanted to do was get snowed in Yankton, 40 miles away from my family. So I quickly brushed the windshield, went in the back and got some of that stuff off. And then I thought I better make sure I get my headlights kind of brushed off and the front of my car brushed off. And so I looked, and it looked like there was just there was a piece of cement there, and then there looked like just a little step down, which is often the case when you're parking. And so I took that step down in order to reach my headlights, and guess what? It wasn't 1 foot drop or 2 foot drop. It was a 12-foot drop. I mean, I just fell. And I can laugh about this because I landed in a great big snowdrift right on my back, and I did just kind of laid there, and the first thing I thought to myself was, oh, please don't let anybody have seen me. The last thing I want is that, because I'm okay. And I opened up my eyes, and there were 12 nuns. It was a Catholic hospital, surrounding me, asking how I was doing, insisting that I come in and get a little tea to warm up, make sure I was okay. Well, I finally got on the road, but I always laugh about that because I was okay. It's just a crazy thing that happened, right? But those are some of the things we need to remember and frame and laugh about, learn to laugh about during this season. So I encourage you down below, share a funny story that's happened to you or a funny joke that you have in your heart. this is the time when things are tough that we need to be on purpose and on fire with joy. So let us go forth and be joyful. Even if we don't feel like, we need to look for it and frame it wherever it is.